Welcome to Navigating the Course. This is for CRJ 101, Introduction to Criminal Justice. And again, I'm your instructor, Judge Joseph Costello. Right now you're looking at the page called My Siena Homepage, and yours might look a little bit different than mine, but I want to show you how to navigate this course right from the very beginning. Now, I know some of you are not freshmen, but many of you are. So this is more for our freshmen. But I think even our sophomores, juniors, and seniors could get something out of this navigation video. So I'm going to have you scroll down and look for this wording that says Canvas Homepage. And we're going to click on that, and it's going to take us to Dashboard. Now on Dashboard, and again, your screen will probably look a little bit different than mine, should show you the courses that you're enrolled in. And for me, it shows the courses that I'm going to be teaching this semester. So for instance, I'm now looking for CRJ 101, and here it is. I click on that, and it takes us to our home page. And on the home page, it will give you an orientation of what you might expect to learn this semester. And as you scroll down, you'll see at the bottom, there's a place to access the syllabus. And there's other places to access the syllabus from as well. But speaking of the syllabus, this is what you should expect to find. It'll show my contact information, my office hours, where my office is located. It'll show you the different policies, including attendance, grading, what's expected of you, and it will also show you on what days of the week we'll meet and times, our room number, and it will also show for each of the dates what we expect to cover that day. Now, of course, depending upon where we left off in the last class, that may change. But this is the projection for this semester. And then at the bottom is my contact information. So let's scroll back up. Let me direct your attention to the left-hand side of this menu. And you'll see a bunch of different entries. So for instance, if you wanted to get to the home page, you click on that. If you want to see if there's any announcements, you can do that here. If there are any assignments or discussions, you can access that here. And we're going to come back to discussions momentarily so you can see what that's going to look like. As far as looking at your grades, you can access it by clicking on Grades. If you want to see who your other fellow students are, you can get that by clicking on People. Under the categories of Pages and Files, this is where I'll include supplemental materials that will be something in addition to your textbook. So for instance, you're going to find that one of the most important things you'll find in Pages, as well as in modules, is a copy of the course PowerPoint. And the university has been very generous in allowing students to have unlimited printing, and I would strongly suggest that you make a copy of the course PowerPoint for yourself. But I would ask you to do one thing. When you go to copy it, if you would copy it in such a fashion, and you'll have options, and that is to copy it so that you'll have at least 3 PowerPoint slides per page. And you'll see the way that it's set up, there'll be some horizontal lines to the right of each slide. And that's a great place to take notes. And it will conserve paper. You see this word here called rubrics. Rubrics are connected to the graded discussions. Right now I plan to have 3 different discussions throughout the semester, and they're each worth 100 points each, the equivalent of a test. The rubric, when you access it, will show you what you need to do to score the most points possible, up to 100 points. And I hope to show that in this video as well. If we ever need to go online, either by choice or we're forced to go into a remote session, like we will after the Thanksgiving holiday, by coming down to conferences, and let's click on that for a moment, by clicking on Conferences, it's going to take you to something called the big blue button. On the regular course dates and times that we're scheduled to meet, I would expect you to sign in on your computer or your phone, look under New Conferences to get access to that day's session. And there will be an icon over here on the right-hand side, and when you click on that, you'll join the session. If I've recorded a session, and you are unable to attend a live session, you'll be able to access it under concluded conferences. But again, that's only if I've recorded it, which I plan to do. So let's go back to modules. And here you see a page full of a bunch of different entries, from navigating the course to meet your instructor, homepage, syllabus, you see all of that. There's also more discussions about the big blue button. And if we use this thing called VoiceThread, which is an opportunity to post replies back and forth between myself and your fellow students, we'll talk more about that in class. But right now I don't plan to use it, but if we did, there's a tutorial video under VoiceThread. And I would strongly encourage you to go throughout these modules and click on them to see what's in them, so become more familiar with it. There's the course PowerPoint that I was talking about. You can access that there, and you can see all these different entries. These are the supplemental materials that I'm sharing with you this semester. Now I'm looking for a discussion, and let me draw your attention to this icon. When you see this icon like this, you can see it looks like a piece of paper. And there's going to be some information contained there. So for instance, let me click on this one, the 3 core components of the criminal justice system. And you'll see that there are some questions raised to you, or there might be additional information that will help you understand that particular material. So let's go back to modules again. And now I'm going to look for that discussion item I was telling you about. And one way to find that is as you go down, now you'll see this icon, and I don't know if you can see it very clearly, but it looks like 2 conversational bubbles. And more importantly, you see the number 100 points underneath. That tells you that this is a graded discussion. When you click on that, you'll see a case scenario or an explanation of what's expected of you for this graded discussion. To access the rubric, you would click on these 3 dots right here, and when you do that, it says Show Rubric. And when you do that, it shows you what's expected of you in order to score the most points possible on this particular graded exercise. So as we go down, we're not going to read this, but you'll know that it's there, and you can look at this at your own leisure. You'll see that in order to reply and respond to what's posted here, is you hit the reply and you start typing. So you either can type live here, or you can type up a Word document, cut and paste it right into the reply. And once you've posted a reply, you'll be able to see the replies of myself as well as your fellow students. Usually, I'll expect you to come back to this discussion for 2 or 3 different days so that everyone has plenty of time to participate, and you can post responses to your fellow students. So that's what a discussion looks like. So back to modules. Again, I would ask that you go through this at your leisure to become comfortable with it. If you have questions about it, you can reach me. In fact, let me get there right now. There's this thing called Judge Joe's Virtual Office. When you click on that, it gives you a chance to post questions to me by putting it right here in the reply box. And I'll usually try to respond to you within 1 to 2 business days. If it's of a private nature and you don't wish to share it publicly on this site, you can send it to me at my email address. I hope this navigation course has been of some assistance to you, and again, I look forward to our class, and I hope you do too.